Okay, welcome to the opening ceremony of 2025, our Q&A Shaking Medicine School community. We're here to gather together as community, as people, I feel like, who want to be inspired to improve their health and well-being, and with this focal point of exploring our instinctive mechanism of therapeutic trimming. That's really been the focus of this modality since its inception. It's like, whoa, what is this? It's like, wow, we have something in us that we're born with. It's designed over hundreds of millions of years at least of evolution as a optimal way to kind of give us a system defrag, a reboot nervous system, and to bring us into homeostasis and move out of fight and flight into rest and digest, to move stuck energies of stress, anxiety, trauma, whatever it might be, that shaking medicine can move with the body. So we're really focused around exploring this, and as you can imagine, moving into rest and digest, and letting the body kind of unravel itself and take care of itself using these inbuilt tools has a vast array of benefits. And because, like, basically, on a very simple way, removing, anticipating, and releasing stress energy, anxiety energy, old trauma, which is basically pent up, like extreme pent up stress. When we're looking at it from the lens of this shaking mechanism, it dissolves all this stuff, and the benefits are vast because so many of our problems in our culture are rooted in this pent up stress energy. So of being in fight and flight, not in rest and digest. When we truly deeply move into rest and digest, then what happens, like, oh, okay, the parasympathetic, the yin functions of the body start to work more optimally to heal us, basically. Like, we let ourself work it out. Our animal intelligence, I like to say, of like that inbuilt part of us that's more of the subconscious mind in our primordial nature. And yeah, there's a vast array of benefits. It's actually been hard to pick, just to narrow in, okay, I just want to like focus on with sleep, or shaking medicine with maybe restless leg syndrome, or whatever it is. Like, because it can help with so many of our issues. I've so far kept it kind of like general and all-encompassing, and not wanting to rule anything out because of what it can benefit us with. So this is the design for us to have a chance to ask our questions. So share our experiences, and to dive in. Does anyone here have a question you'd like to ask her, and maybe an experience you'd like to share?
I'm definitely keen to share some of my experiences and maybe ask a question around that as it comes up. And I'm happy to go after someone else as well.
Well, maybe Janet, would you like to go first?
I've only just come into your world of shaking medicine, and I've only just started to listen to the videos. Not listen, practice a video. I started yesterday. I got about halfway through that to take my neighbour to hospital, but found that it was very strengthening of the leg without even doing anything, just holding that shake, coming into that shake and holding it. And this morning I really feel it in the legs, and that's only half an hour into the video. So that was a really nice experience, and I can see how it can help so many people, because I'm also a yoga teacher anyway. It's just be a different modality.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you tried it. It's nice to hear that you're brand new. You just tried the first class and you're able to so quickly feel and just see from an experiential perspective how cool this is and how well it can work. I'm just gonna mute you, Nancy, because I think there's some noise in your background. And yeah, so that's really beautiful to hear, Janet, that you're able to feel that. And I feel like, well, I'd love to hear your thought on it more deeply. Yeah, I feel like in essence, it's because this modality is about letting go of control and surrendering, and a really real level of that. Whereas most other practices out there, to me, seem like they're more trying to still control their way to get some result, which is definitely not a bad approach. I do like controlled practices of yoga and qigong and different things, but balance it with this therapeutic trimming, checking medicine, the other side of letting go of that control and letting the intuition and instinct and such lead the way. And yeah, what are your thoughts on that after doing one class, Janet? Or I'd love to hear your insights or
it's got
questions.
me thinking. It's got me thinking, how would this work for like I seem to attract a lot of people of an older age, and one client in particular just sits in the chair and just listens to everything I say, and she doesn't do anything other than listen. So how does this work with like chair yoga as well?
People that's yeah, that's awesome that you brought that up, because one thing that's been on my mind to create is a chair yoga course or something. Maybe this will be the last inspiration I need, a chair yoga shaking medicine course, or something like that. But yeah, basically I've done privates in it. I haven't put recorded stuff up yet, but the idea is it's the same like what we're learning in shaking medicine. It's not a set sequence. It's not like you have to do it in this shape or that shape. It's more of like we're learning how to empower ourselves with embodying this mechanism and trusting our intuition to lead the way. And so the same principles that I teach a normal class with, I teach in say someone maybe all they have is sitting in a chair, and that's their kind of their physical capability, whether because they're old or disabled or whatever might be the case. It's like working with where they're at, so we can do the slow movements even with just like our hands, or just in a chair. We might imagine this is from my knee down, like we might do just simple leg lifts sitting in a chair like that.
Yeah.
And we might get the trimmering going. It's like boom, because shaking medicine, once we're in a shaking station, the idea is, okay, now the kind of control part of trying to find the shake goes away. We start to surrender into, okay, we're in the shake, and I'm going to actually relax more and let the shake lead the way and move me for me. So I'm now like going passive. I'm releasing control. I can get the shake moving through me really quick now, and most people can, after just a handful of classes, or definitely by the end of the say like the beginners or intermediate course, for example. And And it's like, whoa, this feels so good. Just this little bit. It's like, wow, I feel so much from doing all that. I was just saying before we started recording, all the acro yoga, you know, that strong physical workout, which is one way I like to apply this, is to take care of my body from doing acrobatics and Ashtanga yoga and different things. It's like, yeah, that stuff does, you know, build some tension. So the shaking, I use it all the time to just reset, and next day I'm ready to go again. So it's
How,
beautiful for so many.
you-
Yeah.
how does that fit in with people who've had legs amputated? Do they still feel that sensation of being able to shake in the lower limb, although it might not be there?
Oh, that's a
I have
good one.
experience
There's a,
in that.
Have you?
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, not personally, but I've run a lot of sessions around Australia, and I was going to mention I had my mum come to one here in Newcastle, and I had to administer a shaking session for her in a chair at that one as well, and she did manage to get it in her arms fairly easily in that beginner's class. So it's definitely a way to do it. And I've had another session, a women's circle, where a lady was in like a reclining chair and I had to adapt some of the movements. But it's great to just offer through a lot of arm shaking invitations, and that's the best. A lot of people get that really easily. So that's quite easy to start that off in a chair. And then I was just going to say, at a session I did in September 2023 at a burn event in Gosford, there was a fellow who I'd been inviting to come to one of my sessions, and then he came along, and he was an amputee from a veteran situation, and he said to me after the session, he said, of all the different doctors and therapies that I've done, this is the first time I've ever felt the nerves at the end of my stump.
Wow. Well, that's
So
amazing.
he actually was blown away, and he told me that it was very real for him, that he actually got that nerve activated with the shaking, because it's electrical. So he's managing to get right all the nerve endings or whatever it is that's happened to his leg, and really I guess that's where rejuvenation and healing can come through that reigniting with that electrical impulse, whatever it is that the rehabilitation was aimed towards. This worked, and I just love, this is what I love about the shaking, is it can be applied to basically everybody. I always say to people, there's nothing that the shaking's not good for.
You know, Nancy, that's really good, that, and I think it's such a big market now, for the veterans, for this sort of thing, to take that in, because we do know about the memory of the wake up thinking they're there, but to feel that sensation, it's amazing, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really good. Good feedback, that. So it's all about keeping active although you can't be fully active, you can still have that exercise and it can still be effective. Like the lady who just sits there and listens, she still has a workout, although it's in her mind.
Yeah, so all this is testament to that. Shaking medicine is really a practice of the nervous system, and it works at that level of our nerves and the electrical conductivity of our body. So I'm not surprised to hear he's feeling these sensations at the end of his stump. And my feeling, like people who are, say, paraplegic, or they lost a leg, like this is for them definitely. And not saying it's going to like grow your leg back, of course it's not going to do that, but it will. But we don't need I guess the point is, we don't need the legs to learn shaking medicine. We can do it with our hands, our arms, our belly muscles, our hips, our shoulders. We can literally get all the muscles in our body, all the connective tissues, everything's connected. So the fascia and such, we can essentially get them into the tremor mechanism, especially if they have tension. Then it's in some ways it's even easier, because it actually has something to dissipate because there's pent up energy. But yeah,
what you've got, not what you did have, isn't it? So it's working, and that's what this shaking medicine helps you to do, is to work with what you've got now, not what you did have.
yeah, totally. It's like we work with what we got now in this moment, and I really like where some yoga philosophy comes in. It's like I really like we are where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're content with what is, but optimistic of how it could be better, perhaps. And we don't want to attach to like an identity or a tension or a trauma as though that like defines who we are. But when it comes up, even though we don't want to attach to it, we don't want to avoid it either. So we find this, for me, everything's a balance. We want to find the right balance, and basically feeling it to heal it, to move the energy, to dissipate it through the tremoring, whether it's physical tension in the body or in the deeper depths of like emotional tension, trauma, stuff like that. It's like it works on all these levels. And yeah, we just want when these things come up, we keep letting the body shake and moving the energy. And if the mind gets involved, we relax the mind, and we have ways and techniques to do that, and even ways to get the tremoring happening in the face and the jaw, and like releasing the vagus nerve, which is so, from polyvagal theory, it's so connected to all the yin organs, and relaxing the throat and jaw helps a lot like that. Yeah, yes, Janet?
So in essence, it's helping with the PTSD in a very subtle way.
Yeah, I think it helps with PTSD in a subtle way using the body, but profound, perhaps one of the most profound ways to help with PTSD, and because this stuff gets locked in the body. That's what a lot of our Western approaches are missing, is the somatic approaches, and they're typically using lots of prescription medication or surgery or whatever it is, which are often solving the symptoms but not the root cause, which I feel that's definitely the intention. And because it's an animalistic mechanism designed within us from nature over hundreds of millions of years, it's really good at doing that. And this is why all other animals in the wild, they use it so regularly that they pretty much stay in homeostasis all the time. And that's how we're meant to do it. Like, we're tremoring as babies in the womb, we're tremoring as babies when we're born, as little kids, but at some point our culture says stop that cathartic stuff, hold yourself together, whatever it is. And like, over many, many, many generations, and through religious reasons, governmental reasons, whatever it is, this stuff has been suppressed and forgotten about because well, who knows why? Let's just say, hey, it's been forgotten about. There's many rabbit holes as we could go down as to why, but it's been lost. We're animals. It's simple. We're meant to do it too, and yeah, and it's really easy to remember because it is a remembering. It's not really a learning. So most people get it by the end of the beginner's course. Like, my goal is for you to be able to turn it on and off, to be able to understand it from experiencing it, to have an idea of how to do it safely and effectively, sustainably. And so, yeah, most people after that course, I'd say, they get it. They know what it's all about from experiencing it, which it sounds like you have, Janet, and I know you have, Uma.
Yeah.
You're a teacher of this. So I've worked with Uma a long time, and years now. It's been really beautiful. And yeah.
Teacher of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only
And what's that?
I've only just heard of it. I've only just become aware of the shaking medicine. I've not heard of it before.
Yeah, and that, you know, there's the majority of the world, excuse me, is like that, is doesn't know about it. Like, this is very, very few people in the world are aware of therapeutic tremoring. Even doctors, really, they go through their whole medical school without learning about this stuff. So the world, even though I've been doing this 8 years now, the world in large still doesn't know about it. So there's, you know, less than 1% of the population probably onto this. So if you're in it now, even though I'm 8 years in, you're still way ahead of the game, so to speak, and you're still very early. Yeah. Well, any other questions?
Sorry, Nancy.
No, that's all right. I've asked Keith lots of questions over the years, and mine are always a bit kind of left field, and more like most people don't get what we talk about. when I talk to my other friends about it, they don't know what I'm talking about, but Keith kind of gets it. And I really love sharing it.
Maybe we
Well, I guess I'll just cover a few last things then, and then we'll wrap this up for today, this New Year's, and basically I already touched on like a lot about what shaking medicine is about in this video, and integrating it in your life for optimal health, joy, and connection. I feel like that's kind of everything about how it reduces stress, anxiety, and trauma. Like, when we're in a better state of health and well-being, like, everything in life is better, everything is complemented. So yeah, I would say if you haven't gotten onto the beginner's course yet, do so. That's really like, just, it's a no-brainer for me. It's a free course where by the end of it, like, you're really meant to be like, have this tool, like, remember this powerful tool, perhaps one of the most powerful tools that I feel like the world has to offer, because it's not something, even like yoga, you could say, was created by humans. Like, this is created by nature. Now, like, with that being said, our modality, like, I've been creating a unique style and creative way of exploring it, of course. So there is uniqueness to this, but in essence, what it's all about is like finding this natural mechanism within us, and then letting that be what leads the way, and let all the other stuff like inspire that journey. Yeah, so as Uma or Nancy knows, like, I encourage our teachers to be creative in the way they share it, not be linear and strict. And it's like, let, even in it, one, especially when they get experience, let the teaching be a spontaneous expression of a class based on what's present, and the intuition and the creativity in that moment, just like the tremor mechanism moves through us all the time. So yeah, beginner's course. And then I also just put out a New Year's special. There's a post in the school community about like offering some internships to the intermediate course, and a internship to our next teacher training, which starts in early February. So check that out if you or anyone you know might be interested. There's a special offer, half off the intermediate course for 3 people, and 30% off for one with the teacher training. And this is in a way to celebrate just this community growing, 700 members now. I say that because, yeah, after the beginner's course, if you resonate with this at all, it's also a no-brainer, I feel, to take the next step, which is the intermediate course, or the equivalent thereof, where we get to that next intermediate level of embodiment, where this goes beyond us just understanding it by experiencing it and being able to like access it, to it becoming fully second nature. Again, like the wild animal, we're ever present. We are we're able to just use it when and where we need, how we need, for how long we need, and all of that, just like the wild animal. And yeah, so really the aim of that is to get us there, and also you really like just find all of my greatest inspirations of how to embody and explore this therapeutic triggering mechanism. I pretty much put in that intermediate course. So really beautiful. And then yeah, there's the first big steps, I'd say, and then after that there's like the teacher training. There's as you probably have seen, there's a free call with me. I want to support anyone out there who wants to like really give this a go and embody. I want to help and support your journey. So please don't hesitate to take that call with me. I'd love to meet you and actually build this up more and more as like a community where we interact and we support each other. And yeah, what else? Yeah, I'll speak quickly to some upcoming events. There's the February teacher training. I'm about to start a shaking medicine 10-day retreat in Koh Phangan, Thailand, starting in it's like 3 or 4 days now, pretty soon. What else? I want to do a live online version of our shaking medicine beginners course. I'm going to refilm it soon-ish, in the next month or couple months. Because the one you see there now is a course I made it like 3-ish years ago, I think now. So I'm ready to just, based on what I created with the intermediate course, just give it a revamp to the present day growth of what shaking medicine is, and give it the updates I feel it's ready for. So that beginner's course is a version of me 3 or so years ago. So as part of that, I want to do a live online version, and then I'm probably a few months later, I'm going to do a live online version of my intermediate course is the plan. And yeah, and then events wherever I am, possibly a level 2 teacher training starting. I don't know exactly when, but maybe this year, and in 2025, and more teacher training. So anyway, thank you for this opening ceremony together, opening the year. I would love for you or anyone who watches this back to join us this year, to make this year the year that you really make this second nature and have this for the rest of your life. If you want to walk this journey with us and be a part of it, and really take steps to improve your health and well-being, because that's really what it takes. Like, we have to make a decision that we're actually going to take the, so to speak, hard route of adding a little bit of discipline in our life to actually show up and do the classes, and take the time and effort to do this, and come out of the distraction of our world and our busy schedules and carve out time for it. So most of my classes in the beginners or in intermediate course are less than an hour. So if you can find an hour slot, even if you just did like 2 or 3 classes a week, have this significantly change your life. Of course, you can do it up to every day, perhaps, being mindful of resting if you need to have rest days, but even just 2 or 3 times a week is enough to, I feel, make really drastic shifts. So happy New Year, happy holidays, everyone. I hope you have a
Happy New
beautiful
Year.
rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, bye,
Nancy, bye.
bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks.